What's up, folks? KJW2 here, coming to you with a shorter video for once. I feel like I haven't done any of these kind of, not stream videos, so figure I might as well try and do that. Okay, so what's the topic for today? How do I make a competitive team? Honestly, there's a lot of different ways. You can kind of YOLO it in the battle mode and just hopefully, feel a team that you might like. Or you can do what I try to do. So, first off, when you're picking your team members, you want to make sure that at least three of these guys can attack and at least three of them can defend. Things to know, centers and wilds, they can go through and do both. Camps and defense can only go through and defend, and attacks can only attack. If you want to defend with them, you're going to have to go through and actually pull the reins and make them actually, defend. And now, in my case here, three of these guys can always go out and attack. If I want to go through and pull one of these guys into attack, I always go through and just try to keep them more mid-range because their damage isn't bad, but they're not exactly as fast as these guys are. For defense, obviously I got four of these guys that can defend, which honestly helps out when I'm in one of those crucial positions where I really need to start defending. And if I want to pull a Piper into either defend or just kind of sneak over and just do a quick base race, I can go through and do that. Now, there's a lot of different fraggers, a lot of different abilities that they all have. It really just depends on how you feel more comfortable with. I know some people like playing ones that go through and spawn different turrets or different just NPCs onto the actual field, but if you like doing that, there's a lot of different ones that can go through and do that. You like ones that deal a lot of damage that are a little slow, you can try out with Archon or honestly any of these guys depending on how you play them. You don't really need to worry about having augments so much, but you do want to get these guys up to a higher level than, just probably single digits. It does take a little while and a lot of grinding for you to do that, but you just got to make sure that if you stick to it, you're going to be able to get to it. As for things like trying to get your frag powers, honestly, that's a roll of the dice that even I haven't been able to go through and figure out. Could I go through and buy these? Absolutely, because I can probably do that. But that is a lot. Like this right here, 4,500 gems is really the same thing as me paying about, on the high end, $50, on the low end, $40. But it just depends on what you want to really do. Other than that, you also want to go through and really test out your characters with different modes. So I always go through and try out any of the events that force you to play random teams. Like if I try out the championship series here, I can go through and play my main team only once, and then I have to let it rest, and then I'm left with having to make up a new team on the spot. And honestly, that's not too bad. I mean, you could of course go through and hopefully roll and get one of these heal packs here, but you don't really have to go through and do that, honestly. Like I like playing with this main team once, trying out different teams. It gives me a couple ideas to really just work on for my next season, or if I want to just have a secondary team. I also go through and I use the PvE challenge with the FRAG tower. Honestly, if I can go through and make any team win 9 times in this mode, then I feel pretty comfortable. If I get more than like 2 defeats, like that's where I know that the team's got a little bit of an issue, and I have to go through and just examine stuff when it comes to my matches. So like if I take a look at my match results, I always get to see what the scores are for different members on my team. So that means that if I'm seeing positive scores, like in the high hundreds like all these are, that means everybody's pulling their weight, there's no issues, there's not a whole bunch of deaths going on there. But if I'm seeing stuff going low, then that means I need to probably, think about switching some people out. Now, other than that, I always use the other game modes, because using the main battle mode is good, but it doesn't really leave you with a lot of, room to really experiment with things. I like going through and using the street frag just to get used to different abilities that my fraggers have. I also, like the fact that it gives you just one bunker to really deal with. So it's not so much of you going through and playing like how the normal mode is. It's really just getting used to a lot of the characters. 2v2 is good for me to get used to different synergies that my fraggers might have. Like, I know playing with this mode is how I knew that Lollipop and Zap Girl make a good duo. If I go through and use Lollipop's bounce move, and then I can just bounce off of it with Zap Girl, I can get her up on a really high vantage point and just start sniping down the other team. You can also go through and use the payload to get you used to just attacking the other bunkers. Like, that's really the main focus on this, and it helps that the bunkers moving around the whole stage, so you have to really, stick and move. You got to get used to moving around. It's not about racking up kills with this. It's about getting the main objective handled. So honestly, all those things can really help out with improving your game. And then just always go through and try out different teams, try out different members. If you want to go through and use a suggestion, you can always go through and suggest some stuff. Like this team right here has, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 people that can attack, and 1, 2, 3, 4 that can defend, which is honestly a pretty good team right here. All these guys have their advantages and disadvantages, and the suggestion tool is pretty good at that. Like, if I check out this next one, I got same thing again, 4 that can defend, and in this case 3 that can attack, which is honestly pretty good to me. But yeah, I'll be trying to work on some more of these shorter videos, and I appreciate you coming out and checking out your boy's page. If you want to come out and check out the stream later on, we will be streaming pretty every other day. I'm really working on making a good schedule because I'm out of school now, but for the most part, we are going to be streaming more often. But yeah, I appreciate you coming out and watching your boy's page, watching the streams, and I'll catch you later. See you.